everyone, welcome to Sweet Tomato Vine Homestead. I'm Linda, and today it is about 50 degrees right now. We woke up to like 29 degrees this morning. 2 days ago, it was 70 degrees. I am not complaining. We got some rain, so the rain and then the cold is going to be good for my onions. But I am going to feed the chickens, and then we're going to plant some potatoes today. So let's get started. Hello. Hey, chickadees. Hey, chickadees. Let's see what we got. What we got. All right, back it up. Get your pole up there. Okay, there you go. There's more. I like to add more bedding whenever we've had rain so the bedding stays nice and dry and comfortable, because sometimes it rains and it just gets moist in there. Okay, we got 7 eggs today. Seven nice sized eggs. Happy about that. Okay, you all, now we're going to plant the potatoes. And I told you in a previous video that I had purchased some of these Adirondack Blue potatoes, and they're really purple. And the purple vegetables, as we know, have those anthocyanins in them. And we want to get as much of those into our diet so that we can get those antioxidants that will be beneficial to our bodies. So we want to plant as many of the purple vegetables, grow as many of the purple vegetables as we can grow this season. So I am going to put them in this container. And this is one of those whiskey barrels, and it has a place for 2 drainage holes, and I'm gonna add a few more. So I've already drilled my holes in here. I drilled some holes, and I even put one on the side because I do not want these potatoes to rot in this barrel. So I am trying to do things different to make sure that I can have as much greater chance as I can have on getting a good harvest of these potatoes. And as I told you, these are the Adirondack Blue potatoes, and they have the purple in them. So we're going to plant them, but we have only 4 potatoes, and they already are chitting. And you can plant potatoes that come out of the store that are not seed potatoes. These were purchased as seed potatoes. They are they were $4.98 for 4. So that is not cheap, but sometimes you have to, if you want to get a good harvest, you have to go ahead and get the seed potatoes, because I planted potatoes that I purchased from the store, and we know that those potatoes in the store sometimes have growth inhibitors on them that keep them from chitting in the store. So they don't want these chits coming up in the store while they're waiting for you to come and purchase these potatoes. So they put something on them to keep them from doing that. And so once you buy those and you cook them and eat them, that's fine. But if you buy them and then plant them, I've had them to grow, but sometimes they have not grown to my expectation. They did not get big, and I did not get a large harvest. I most of the time got a small harvest of small potatoes. So in order, I think, to get the larger potatoes, I think that you may need, if you want a bigger harvest with bigger potatoes, I think that, in my opinion, it's best to go ahead, if you can, get some of the seed potatoes, the ones that are certified seed potatoes. And so it's just whatever you know your expectations are. I need bigger potatoes. I've enjoyed coming out and I've harvested potatoes. I've had some small ones, and it takes a whole lot of those to feed me and my family. So I would prefer to come and harvest some bigger potatoes and come out here, grab 2 and go in and dice it up and put it in my soup, instead of having to take 10 and dice it up and put it in my soup. So I am going to plant these 4 in this container. This is the whiskey barrel that I have put my drain hose in, and only have 4 potatoes, but I think that that is all that needs to go into this container, because I think that that is another thing that I've been doing that has probably caused me to get a smaller harvest also, is I've been putting too many potatoes into the container instead of spacing them out. Because if you put a lot of potatoes in there, you cannot space those potatoes out the way that you need it. And yes, you will still get some potatoes, but as we know, these potatoes, how they grow up, and they grow up on those potato vines. And when those potato vines, if you got 20 potatoes in here, those potato vines are going to be all crossed up. And those potato vines are going to be close together. And they're going to produce you some small potatoes. That's why you're going to come out here and you're going to get those little potatoes like this. And that's because they don't have enough room to grow. But if you put 3 or 4, probably 3 would be the best to put in here, because the directions on planting potatoes said that you need to space them between, I think it was 12 and 15 inches apart. So 12, I bought my ruler out here, and I could get to have them 12 inches apart. That means I would have to put 1 right here and 1 right here, And then I could put one right here and one right here. But these right here will still not be the whole 12 inches apart. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put all 4 of these in together. But if I put them in here, and then once they start, the potato vines start growing, and they're growing up, and the potatoes are going to grow up on those potatoes. And when it's time to harvest these potatoes, I can come out here and just grab the potato plant, and then I'll have my potatoes on there. And that way, I need to have those potato plants separated. I can come out here and I can pour them all out and get them. But if I plant them properly, I can come out here and just pull the potato plant up and then pick off my big potatoes. And that is another thing, is we need to make sure that we're putting the plants, the potatoes in that go in together. This is a Adirondack Blue. I don't need to put this in with a potato that is a early season. This is a mid-season potato. If I put it in with an early season potato, and the early season potato needs to be harvested in 70 days, well, this Adirondack Blue needs to be harvested perhaps 80 to 100 days, then one potato is going to be ready and the other potato is not going to be ready. So I need to put the potato that goes in here, that needs to be in here for 90 to 100 days or 80 to 100 days, needs to be in there by itself, so that when it is time to harvest it, I'm not inhibiting any other potatoes. I'm not causing one potato to just be stunted in its growth. So that is another thing that I'm going to do different. And then I am going to amend my soil. I forgot my amendment, but I'm gonna have to go get my amendment. But the planted potatoes calls for a sandy soil. I didn't buy any sand, but I do know something that has sand in it. And it really not supposed to have sand in it. It's not in the ingredient. But this cow manure back here is very sandy. It has been. All the other bags that I opened have been very sandy. So I am believing that this one's going to be sandy also. But I am going to mix this sandy soil with this soil that I already got. I got some regular potting mix. And I'm going to mix this sandy soil in with this regular potting mix. And I'm going to amend it really good with some azomite and some bone meal. So let me get my amendment. Okay, bad news for the potatoes. I don't have any bone meal. But that's okay. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plant the potatoes, but I am going to put the soil on the potatoes, but I'm not going to heal it up. I'm not going to put it all the way up. I plan on filling the container up more, but I'm just going to put the fertilizer that I have. I got my Joe granule all-purpose plant food. I'm going to put that in there. And I have my potash, which is the azomite. I'm holding it way too far away. And so I'm going to put that in there. And I have this cow manure, which is my sand. And let's look at it. Let's take a look at it and see what it's looking like. It is heavy because it has been sitting outside. It is too heavy. It was heavy because it's wet. And I don't like it when it's wet like that, but it's wet. But I am going to pour it up. I bought my scissors out, so I wouldn't have to be wrestling with this bag. So that's disadvantage number 2, having wet sand. I make it more heavy. I'm not picking it up again though. I'm going to see how sandy this is? I'm gonna mix it in with my soil. Can you all see that? Let me get this so you can see it. They should have sand listed on this bag because I know that this is not all cow manure. Not this sandy. I'm gonna put it in here and mix it in so that I can have some sandy soil. You all see how sandy that is? So it's nice and moist. And because it is this moist, I am not going to water it. When I put these potatoes in there, I'm just going to put this soil in here on top of these potatoes and let that moisture be enough. And that'll be enough for those potatoes to go ahead and sprout. And then once they, we're supposed to be getting some more rain. So, you know, I don't want, like I said, I don't want them to start out with too much water. That's why I added up another drain hole on the side so they can drain really, really well. But these potatoes are heavy feeders. So this compost and cow manure and this potting mix in this sand. They want sandy soil. So this is going to give it a good start. It's not going to give it as good a start as it would if I had put that bone meal in here, but I will be putting the bone meal in. And as I told you all, these potatoes will be in the ground between 80 and 100 days. So we don't have to be in a rush to get the bone meal in, but I will be putting it on ASAP. And my goal right now is to get it as sandy as I can. And I will be purchasing me a bag of sand to keep around here to have for some of my plants like potatoes that like sand. And you all, I got some other potatoes that I still have, and there are some potatoes that were left that I had from my harvest last season and some that I purchased from the store. So I'm going to find a spot out here to pour some soil down, and I'm going to put some potatoes on top, and I'm going to try that method where I'm just going to pour the, can't think of anything else that I plan to do with this, because I told you all I didn't want to put it on nothing, because I looked at this and it looked like it got a lot of seeds in it, and I don't want these wheat seeds growing in my crops. So I can have it growing in those potatoes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some potting mix or some, so I can just use some of my compost. I'll get some of my compost out of the compost bin, spread it on the ground, stack those potatoes on top of it, and pour this hay, whatever this is, straw, on top of it. And then we'll see how that works. And I can go ahead and get some potatoes out of that and go ahead and use those potatoes, since I know that I think moving forward, I'm going to try to be using only the certified seed potatoes. We'll see how it goes, but I think that's my plan. Okay, I think about another scoop of this sand manure compost should be enough. It has some sticks in it also. Okay, so now we have some sandy soil. I'll show you what it looks like now. This is mixed in with my potting mix. This is what it's looking like now. Some sandy soil. So this is what we're going to put down, and it will be even more sandy once it dries. So right now, you know, it's wet, so it doesn't have that texture, but I think it's gonna be okay. So we're gonna go ahead now and fill our container. So I'm going to put some soil at the bottom. Okay, y'all, so how do you all think that these potatoes grow? Are there any potatoes gonna grow underneath these potatoes? So I think that these potatoes should be at the very bottom. When I get ready to come out and harvest these potatoes, this potato should be the potato at the bottom, and then the new potatoes that are gonna grow should be above it. So when I pull, this should be the last potato that comes up. So I should know which one is my seed potato. And y'all remind me when I pull them up, so I won't be trying to eat the seed potato. Y'all let me know in the comments when I come out here to harvest it. That's the seed potato. Don't eat that one. That one potato you count as potato is the seed potato. Okay, so that is enough soil at the bottom because, as I said, there not going to be any potatoes growing at the bottom, but we do want to have a nice place for this potato to have some roots. So now you can put this any kind of way you want to. You already see that these are shitting at the top. I could lay it on the side, or I could lay it at the top. You know, lay it where the top is up like this. So let me bring you all in a little closer. Okay, so now we got our soil at the bottom of our container, and it's time for us to put our amendments in. So I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle in some of this jode. Now I thought that was all fertilizer in here, and that's my big dipper in there. So not a lot of fertilizer in there either. But as I told you all, don't be afraid to put your amendments in there. So when I put my planted my onions, I was not afraid to put the amendments in there. So I done used it all up. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the azomite in. And I am going to stir it up. Now I'm going to add my potatoes. And as I told you, I'm going to put this one kind of standing up like this. This is already chitting, and that's where the chits are. Do this one the same way. And I bought my ruler out here. I want to try to make sure that I got them far enough apart. Okay, so this one I can kind of put it anyway because it has chits on the sides and on the top. Put this over here like that. And then I got one right here on top. So I'm gonna have it sitting up like that. Okay, first thing I want to do, I want to take my ruler and I want to see if I got them close to, at least close to a foot apart. So I got my ruler. Okay, there's those two, they're okay. These two, I think they're gonna be okay, and these are okay. So it's not, they're not completely a foot apart, but they're not all up on each other. Matter of fact, if I had one more, I think it would be okay if I had another one to put it in the center. Let me see if I move these around. Let's see. Yeah. Nope, that ain't gonna work. All right, so I'm gonna leave it like it is. And I'm gonna go ahead, found me a little bit of fertilizer. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some more of this compost cow manure sand on top. Go ahead and cover these potatoes. And we will be healing them up. Gonna give them a chance to start growing. And this will help to keep these, by them being covered, it would have been even better probably to go ahead and cover them a little bit more, because that will protect them in case of the weather or the temperatures dropping to freezing again. But potatoes can stand some frost, but they can't stand a hard freeze. So hopefully we're not fixing to have another hard freeze. If we do, I'll have to come outside and get these potatoes and take them to the garage or cover them. Cover them probably would be more like it, because I imagine this is going to be pretty heavy. I'm going to go ahead and pour this little bit of, this one Dr. Earth fertilizer. It's organic, so it's not going to matter that one was Dr. Earth and one was something else. That's just the one I was using the other day, that balanced fertilizer, the 222. And what I said there was 2 for my new one, my new gardeners, 2 nitrogen, 2 phosphorus, and 2 potassium. Add a few more of these trace minerals that are in this azomite. Okay, so our potatoes are planted. Got my label for my Adirondack Blue potato, and I got my date on there, 2/18. So we're gonna be counting probably 90 days or maybe 100. It just depends on how and when the leaves die back on the plant, because that's when you know that it's time to harvest your potatoes, is when your leaves die back on your potatoes. So I hope that you all have enjoyed the video today, and that you'll give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.